The content and opinions shared on Talking Random Bitch are intended for entertainment and informational purposes. They reflect the personal views of the host and guests and do not constitute professional advice or represent any affiliated organization.
We're talking randomly. Talking random. We're talking randomly. Talking random.
I don't know if he's waiting on me.
Oh, no. That's me.
I didn't want to disturb your groove.
I be feeling that. I be feeling that right now. Once that beat dropped and everything, everybody be giving me. They have a whole dummy. I just be wanna. Yes, sir. No, you ain't gotta turn that camera right here. They ain't gotta see me. Welcome back to Barbershop Talking Random Bitch. I am your master barber. They turned the clippers off tonight. Enrique and Tario.
And there it is.
I am in the building, but tonight I turned the clippers off, broke out the Bantu, the lie, the color, what's it called?
Just let's move on. Let's move on.
I thought I had. But yes, sir. And I turned it over to the ladies. The ladies are in the building tonight. I am blessed and honored that these ladies have agreed to come in the barbershop and have this conversation. I am so proud of my sister for being here. Not only just for her being here, for her opening up and having the conversation, expressing herself. And for that, I definitely say thank you. Vida, thank you. Thank you. But I'm also blessed to have Coach Crystal in the building. Rev Iris in the building. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And y'all know how I feel about my pastor Shay Shay. My pastor Shay Shay is in the building. Pretty in pink. Got the gray power.
Master stylist, take over. He cut the clippers back on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Being as beautiful and wearing that beautiful smile. And hosting tonight, it's an honor to have y'all ladies here. And Dr. LaKeisha Gantt is en route, so you would definitely hear her before tonight is over. But turning my mic off, and the floor is once again yours.
So before we transition into the different things that we grieve, Patanya brought up she made a comment during break about how we grieve differently based on the relationship that we had with a person. And I think that's important to discuss, because if we assume that all grief is the same when it comes to death, when we experience something that made me feel different this time than felt the last time, and we don't really think about that or try to examine it, it can lead to a lot of guilt and confusion and self-condemnation. It can. When my sister passed, I immediately felt like an orphan. And I know that sounds odd because we're talking about my sister, but I felt like an orphan when she passed away. Because my mother used to always say all we had was each other. And so when she died, I felt like I didn't have anybody. And when my friend Twan passed, I felt so alone. I mean, I just felt alone. I never felt that alone before in my life. When my friend Sharon passed, I felt abandoned. When my daddy died, I felt very grown. I felt very much like an adult. Now, I was a full-fledged adult. I was in my 40s when daddy passed. But it was something about bearing a parent. It was very sobering for me. Like, everything that was from that childlike or that position of being a child, that had changed. And my mother is still alive and well, and my bonus dad, Wiley, they are as well. But those were different things I felt, and it didn't mean that I loved one more than the other or cherished one relationship more than the other. But going back to what you were saying, based on the relationship that we had, those were the feelings that I had. And so, everyone here in this room has experienced multiple deaths. Did y'all have similar experiences, experiencing different things with different people that passed? And if you were able to reflect and articulate that, how did you manage it? And if you weren't, as you reflect here tonight, how did that manifest in you?
So with my grandparents, I love both of them the same. However, I was closer to my grandfather than my grandmother. I felt like my granddad understood me, like we were here always. Like nobody else in the world understood me. I was the black sheep of the family, but my granddad knew where I was in every moment, in every season of life. So that looked different. The separation, anxiety that I experienced with my grandfather, I did not experience with my grandmother. And I love the two very dearly, but the grieving process was different. So for granddad and grandma, they were very family oriented. And so for every year after he passed in 2019, it was like Christmas just wasn't the same. We always went to the big White House on the side of the road on 78. That's where we gathered. That was family. But after he passed, it was like I didn't feel that anymore. So I was always each year trying to chase that feeling again, that completeness, that wholeness, but there was always a void. So finally, my therapist suggested, why don't you go somewhere for Christmas to see how that feels? Stepping outside of the space, what looks normal for you. So I did. Went to Houston with my daughter for Christmas. And I'd never been away from my mom on a Christmas. I'm 46 years old. I spent every last Christmas with my mom because I'm a mama's girl. But when I did that, I finally found my Nick. So not being here for the holidays for Christmas helped me. Now, did I not think about him? Absolutely not. I still thought about him, but it felt different. So I think it's trying to find ways to
changing that physical space
absolutely
helped your grieving process.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was totally different. I wasn't real sad. I just felt like, another year, another Christmas. I had not put a Christmas tree up in probably 4 years, just because it didn't feel like Christmas. So, but now it's different, and so I've started every year going somewhere for Christmas, and it feels like Christmas again. So just finding those ways to cope, with the triggers, because Christmas is a trigger.
You got traditions and you created a new one.
Yes.
So you were able to move on.
Absolutely.
That's good. That's good.
I think when my dad passed, it hurt. I think I just hold on to, he died of prostate cancer. And I remember the family walking into the hospital together. My mom and my dad were in front of my brother and myself, and the doors opened and like this bright light came. And my dad looked over his shoulder and he said, "This is the last time." That's what I hold on to, the light. I had a minister mentor here in Georgia who was a strong mother figure. When she left, it hurt. That was like a piece of me left, and all I could do was hold on to the things she taught me, try to live up to it. When my mama when my mama left here, I knew she could leave because my brother and I had reconciled. All of her grandchildren were there. All of her children were there. And I knew the day before that April 30th was going to be her last day. And her words were, "You're always my girl." So what I long for is to hear my mama's voice. And it's just different because it's mama. It's just different. And that whole, it's different. And I'm still learning how to handle mama.
Thank you, Kristen. Because you didn't have to give us that, but I received that gift of your truth. You didn't have to give us that. Thank you for that.
I just, really quick again, Rick, thanks for this table. Because even you talking, it does help somebody. Because too many of us are silent and we don't feel like we have a space to share. But the Bible is still true that we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. And if there's nothing else I can do to help somebody other than to be vulnerable enough to let you know, it's okay. It's okay.
Amen. Amen. A lot of real intimate emotion that's being shared with thousands of people. And that takes a certain level of bravery. And I don't take that for granted. I don't. Before we transition to our next segment, I do want to introduce and welcome and say hello to Dr. LaKeisha Gantt.
Hello. Thank you all, and I apologize. I had to transition from a meeting.
That's okay. That's okay. So we started off the conversation talking about grief as it pertains to death and our personal experiences with that. But something that Iris brought up, she talked about the grief that usually goes unspoken, that we all experience in various ways. It's loss. It could be, she talked about her having alopecia and losing her hair. I referenced this vitiligo and losing pigmentation in my skin. Also, as I've gotten older, I am losing hair, and I'm telling you, I was traumatized. I'm gonna tell y'all a story about that because we need to lighten this up in here. So, I was living in Pennsylvania, and I was home for Christmas, and so I was on the floor, and I was wrapping presents, and my mother was sitting in a chair, and my family name is Shay. That's what Rick calls me. Angel called me Shay, and she said, "Shay," she said, "you're going bald in the top of your head." And I said, "No, I'm not." I said, "Mama, why must you say these things?" I said, "You can't find anything positive to say." I said, "I am not going bald." She said, "Shay, I'm trying to tell you, you were going bald on top of your head." And so she told my niece, she said, "Take a picture of the top of her head." And she took that picture and showed it to me. And I promise y'all, I felt like the life left my body. And I felt like I need to take to my bed because I'm just like, because we're talking about my hair. I don't have a lot of physical things going for me. But one thing I got going for me is my hair and my smile. What told me I'm losing my teeth. And so I was just so distraught. And I'm not a drinker. I said, "Mama, I need a drink." And she said, "We don't keep alcohol in this house." I said, "You got that communion wine in the kitchen." I said, "I need a drink." She said, "Shay, you need to get yourself together. That just don't make any sense." I said, "David can eat the showbread and drink the communion wine. Surely." She said, if you need to go lay down, but you need to cut all this out." So I say that, it sounds very dramatic, but I was just so undone. I really was, and that was the first time I really became cognizant of that type of loss, but grief in that way, because I'm still grieving the loss of my hair, and I was sitting in a class one Saturday, and we were talking about grief. And they said, what is the thing, they were asking the women in the class, what is the thing that you're grieving? And immediately my spirit said, my youth. Grieving my youth. You on something else. Grieving my youth. And I just broke down when my spirit said that, because I didn't realize I had been grieving my youth and all that youth meant. I was grieving my youth. And when I turned 50, I took a solo trip, just me and the Lord. And I had to grieve the life I thought that would be. And I sat there with him alone to grieve that the life I thought would be. It's important that we actively engage with that and acknowledge that. And I'm going to transition and let Dr. Gantt talk about, the implications of internalizing grief and the ways that can manifest and show up in us.
Yeah, that's, so thank you. I heard the tail end, and I do appreciate the vulnerability, because it is hard for us to talk about grief across the board. Be it the grief of like the physical loss, which is just a whole different experience, and then grief of experiences and what life represents. What I have found, and this is just more so not even from being someone who has sat across from people when they've been most vulnerable in experiencing loss or adjustment of some sort, is that anytime we experience things that we tend to, so women in general tend to, we keep going, right? Because we have to.
Talk about that.
We have to keep going, and we have to do all of these things, and quite frankly, not just women, but in today's society, you don't have time to grieve. And you don't have time. You're not permitted to be stressed. You're not permitted in many spaces to be vulnerable. You're not permitted to say, I've reached my capacity. Just this past Monday, when I got home really late, Monday or Tuesday, I had reached my capacity. And it was a physical experience, but it was also like an emotional experience. But the issue is my body had to tell me. And so one of the main ways with the implications is that at some point, your body is gonna let you know. We don't want that to be the case, but it will, because your body, when we are reacting to anything, but particularly any type of stress, whether it be acute related to grief or ongoing stress, physiologically, your body is still treating that as a threat. But we really aren't designed to be in like this sort of threat and crisis response 24/7, 7 days a week. And so our body is continuing to like respond like there is a threat, there is a stressor that I can't quite handle. It's gearing up, It like just like if we were to have like an acute something happen right now, your body gets ready for that fight, flight. It's just that with some of these things, whether it be stress or grief, when we don't acknowledge it, when we don't allow ourselves to go through it, because society is not conducive to us doing that, then it wreaks havoc on our body. And by the time it's wreaked havoc on our body, right, that's been, it's probably been doing some things, right, before we get the headache. If I were to tell all of us right now, like, relax your shoulders, like, take a few deep breaths. Like, these aren't things that we just do. And so implications is that it impacts your body. And when stressors impact your body, you are less likely to be able to fight illnesses. You are, your heart, it takes control of your body. You know, your heart is working harder because you get this threat. But then also it impacts your mind. And we're wanting to talk about spiritually what it does. But with your mind, it's harder to focus. It is harder to complete things. It's harder to say, I'm going, to start here and end there. You feel more scattered. And then spiritually, it parallels. There's a lot of scatteredness, lack of direction, uncertainty about, okay, God, help me through this. But all of that is scattered too. Yeah. So it spills over into all of these areas. And then emotionally, it makes us a little bit less stable. And just so we're unable to sort of manage the emotions like we would.
You talked about your body. Our body has a memory as well. Memory just doesn't lie in our mind. Our bodies have memories. I had a friend whose mother passed, and a year later, she was not, in her words, she wasn't, grieving her mother in the way, she went on about her day and she acknowledged that my mother passed and she was sad. But then all of a sudden, she started having all this pain in her body to the point where she had to go lie down. She could not physically stay up, and she could not pinpoint where this pain was coming from. And her daughter told her, your body remembers. Right? Your body remembers what it felt like that night. It felt that when you felt that physical pain. Anything that's suppressed or unresolved is going to manifest, it's going to show up, right? It's going to get your attention. And the longer we continue to ignore it or bypass it or call it, name it, so give it another name, it's just going to become even more compounded.
What you were just saying when I was talking with my therapist, I think a part of the grief it builds on, and the depression and the anxiety comes on as well, and so the racing thoughts. But one thing my therapist told me, and how I can tell when I'm really out of alignment, is she asked me one day, what does your laundry look like? And as I looked, I had baskets of laundry, clean, dirty, in between, but it was just baskets, unresolved. And that's exactly what I was physically doing in my life. It was unresolved thing, nothing complete, nothing in its place. And so I still use that now, and I can tell, I look at my laundry and I'm like, okay, let's regroup. Let's get it back together. And lo and behold, when I clean up the laundry and make up the bed, I feel better.
Mine is making up my bed.
It's the most useless chore.
It is not. It's not.
It's not. It has
Your mic is
okay.
Your mic is off.
That broke it.
Yeah. See, anyway, it is not. My perspective on making up bed, making up your bed is the very first thing I do for myself. If I don't do anything else for myself, because we can go days and years not doing anything for ourselves. If I don't do anything else for myself, I make my bed up. Now, if I get so busy or distracted or whatever, and I start noticing, I hadn't made this bed up. Or if I'm just spreading it up. But really, if I'm in that bed and I can't make it up, like when was the last time you got up out this bed to make it up? But that is my check. Like, okay, we need to recenter here. What's going on with you? What's going on? That's unresolved. That's not, or unspoken in this moment. So that's the check I have for myself, making my bed up.
Check y'all's laundry now.
But the laundry, that is true
Check
too.
laundry.
So there are signs. There are signs. But let's talk about loss, right? And what would you say is the difference between grief and loss?
Maybe loss, if it's just a straight up loss. Okay, like you lose a basketball game. You win some, you lose some. But grief, that thing is sitting. You cannot let it go. You can't process that. A basketball game, okay, I got another one that I got a chance to win. But if you leave me, it's it. That's over. And how do I process that? Because you're never coming back. Mm-hmm. I don't get another chance at this.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, loss is the event, right? Loss is the event. Grief is the response. Okay. So loss is the event, grief is the response. And when we talk about different types of loss, and I think that's why it's difficult for people to categorize different types of loss, because we always frame it as grief. Mm. You know, we don't frame grief appropriately. Mm. So it's easier to dismiss loss, to overlook loss, or not to acknowledge loss, because we're thinking about it in terms of grief. But loss is actually the event. Like that day, my mama told me I was going bald on top of my head. That was the event, for me. The loss, when you physically saw your hair falling out. Ooh, mercy. I mean, the breath left my body when you said that. Mm-hmm. To see that happening, right?
Imagine how I felt.
Yes, when you turn 50 and you realize your youth is gone. That life you thought you were going to have is gone. And I think we need to really acknowledge those moments that are those events more and process that. Otherwise, you know, we have these physical and emotional sightings, right?
And to add on to that, it's so important to have support in those seasons. Mm-hmm. And I say that because one of the ways that I dealt with the loss was to include my husband. Right. So it started like in a crowning. So I was like just kind of camouflaging. But then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to shave it off. So he shaved it off. We did it together. So just, you know, I'm not going to cry.
It's okay if you do.
But, you know, just having that support system in those seasons, because people look at you, they're like, oh, you know, you're running and going. And I had a lot of women tell me, Iris, we never knew. I didn't speak on it. Like, LaKeisha said, you just got to keep going. We keep going. Like, we don't, even though, yes, it was tearing me up on the inside, but, you know, I'm facing the community, I'm advocating, I'm out, boots on the grounds, but nobody think I'm dealing with anything. But here I am going home, tore up every night, because I'm like, why me? But then I had to go back and say, try me. Because I could have had cancer, could have been HIV, could have been all kinds of things. It's just hair. And so once I got that, I got it. But I wouldn't have been able to make it through that season without, God knew what he was doing by sending my husband in that moment to just really help me navigate through that. Because even my family didn't know what was happening, but he knew. So just navigating those seasons and staying on top and not trying to be too strong, because that's how we, again, burn out. And my stress settles in my back. So as Keisha was saying, like for me, when I'm stressing, when something's going on and my back starts hurting, I already know you got to stop. You just got to slow down. Some people have headaches. Some people have migraines or whatever, but for me, it's back pain. So I know it's time to, I don't have capacity, I can't do it. You know, I can't make it. And even with her, I know you're tired, exhausted, you know, just running and going and running and going. You know, you have to just get in a space and say, you know what, I'm unavailable. Yeah. Emotionally, physically, all the way around. It takes 24 hours to just bring it back, just to kind of bring yourselves back together so that we can be strong and advocate for these other women so they don't burn out like we do. Or did. Or did.
You are that person, you know, if you are that person in your family and or your group of friends and or whoever it may be at your church, in your organization, you are the person that's used to being there for people. You are the person that's used to holding everybody else's trauma, their problems, helping them through it. Well, your body still takes that in. All of it. Even where it doesn't matter what role you're playing. That's right. And so I think sometimes what that means though is that we've built such a high threshold, right, to see other people's pain, that then like ours, We just keep
Wow.
going up and up and we don't quite notice when it's out of whack.
That's so interesting because whenever I go, you know, I always tell my doctors, or when I'm in a situation, I have a high threshold for pain. Physically, I do. I've always had a high threshold, but I also know I have a high threshold for pain emotionally as well, and so I've had to learn to like stop myself and pause, and sometimes even try to make myself or sit with it to feel.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it's just like, because I was director of Title IX and Institutional Equity, so I dealt with sexual misconduct all day, every day for 10 years. I've heard and witnessed unspeakable things on college campuses. And I'll just be sitting there like, someone could tell me, you know, that their father, you know, raped them until they were 18, and then they got into an abusive relationship where they were constantly raping. I'd be sitting there like, okay, all right, well, let's go. You know, it's no reaction from me, the vicarious trauma. And so, and so I had to, when I got to that point, I was like, okay, you a little too desensitized here, because I had such a high threshold for pain, it didn't affect me the way it needed to so I could process it, but it showed up when I would go home. And I'm in that house all weekend long because I can't people anymore. Like, I can't take it on anymore. So that is really important when we talk about this threshold of pain that we carry. You know, that is not a badge of honor at all. It's really not. I think it's, you know, it can be positive and kick in when it needs to in the moment. But when the moment passes, we need to allow ourselves, even losing a job. When I lost my last job, when that grief hit me, you know, that you need, this is a loss. You know, you need to, you know, it's okay to grieve this. So I wouldn't be bitter. And so I wouldn't remain angry and offended. I had to release that so I could receive better from the Lord. But that is such a good point about this threshold of pain that we carry.
Can I share a quick example?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was right before my birthday. My husband and I were going out to like meet with some friends, and we were going to go to dinner. Well, had been just going and going and going. Well, at the same time, my aunt ended up like missing. She has dementia. My mom has dementia as well. And immediately after we, you know, came, like the family was helping and we came back, but literally my body was wired for a week or two. And so even when I think about like this past week, although I said like by Monday, I just my body just felt so weak. I was feeling sick. It took almost a whole month for that to catch up with me. And so I think when you're used to like going and always handling, you know, what people are going, like truly, you just become this, you start doing things automatically, and then your body has to say, because even that Monday or Tuesday, I thought, I haven't done a lot today. I mean, I've done some things, but what else? And then it just took me back to, okay, wait a minute.
A whole month.
This is like,
And some people can take years.
Yeah.
And the part about it is like, you literally feel like you're drowning.
Yeah.
And feel like bricks are sitting on your chest. Anxiety. I mean, I have to say, you know what, I can't go anywhere. I can't drive. I can't focus. Like, it's heavy.
I had to tell, I was like, I barely walked in the house and I was like, I cannot talk to anybody. I'm at capacity. I just need to go lay down. But my body was so wired that it couldn't even rest, you know, so, which then takes days. But we don't have those, you know, places. I've shared before. This keeps coming up on my heart, and I really do think it's a reason. But I was sharing with someone a while ago, like, you know, one, I just want to open the practice where women can come. And we have all, you know, the lights off. We listen to music, and we just cry. you know, like, or not. We just breathe, or we smile, or we pause and we think, you know, because we don't have the time. We don't have the permission to do that.
We don't either.
Man, you're right. You're absolutely correct.
Is his mic on?
You about to turn it on.
Yeah, I hear
You about to turn it
something
on.
from the corner of the room.
Well, he got anxiety over there. He's like,
Oh, I gotta jump in, I gotta jump in.
If you get one for y'all, for women, there need to be one on the other side of town for men.
Absolutely.
I don't know who can open it, but somewhere where we can cry. I'm talking about for real cry. And it's okay to cry. It's okay to come in and be down.
Right.
It's okay to come in and nobody pointing the finger at you and telling you to man up or suck it up or that ain't being a man. So when you open yours, I'm opening one right next door. Because, and then at some point, I want to put another one on the other side of the street where the men and women can come in together.
That's right.
And we can sit there and cry together and be vulnerable together. And I let you know it's okay. And hopefully you'll let me know it's okay. Because I'm done. Sorry.
Okay, so thank you, Eddie Levert. Last night, me and my woman.
And one other thing that I have noticed, like, as Keisha was saying with, you know, women being exhausted, one thing that people don't realize, and I know this may seem off subject, but not really. So church nursery, right? You have single moms, even married moms. Nurseries are so important. You realize how many women it's the only break that they get?
yes.
Yeah.
Is bringing those babies
Yeah.
to the nursery
Yes.
on Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Yes.
Out of 7-day week, that's 2 hours
Yes.
that they
But
have.
not only that, the healing that comes from holding the baby, because they're so pure.
Yeah.
I can hold the baby and I can feel everything in my body go, you know.
So innocent.
But getting back to the point that you two raised, and I apologize for making light of it, Rick, because I shouldn't have.
No.
But we have to learn to create those spaces for ourselves, those sacred spaces for ourselves, and to protect the love. I will co-labor with you in that space, because there is something special when we come together. But then there's also, like I said, we have to create those sacred spaces for ourselves. At one of the universities where I worked, I had I called a soft room where people could just go and sit. It was very comfortable. I took all the conference room stuff out, put comfortable chairs and a sofa, and had dimming lights, and had quotes on the wall, and it was open. Anybody on campus could come sit there, unquestioned. And we just closed the door, because sometimes people just need a moment. You know, they didn't need a solution. They didn't need a pep talk. They didn't need to vent. They just needed a moment. And so we've got to find those spaces for ourselves that can be uninterrupted. And that's challenging. It is. But again, if we don't ask for or take what we need, then it's not going to be provided. The assumption is going to be that, you know, that you're okay. I need a moment. You know, I'm going to sit here. We're not going to come inside. No, I'm fine. I'm sitting right here on this porch. And I'm just going to rock, and I'm just going to sing here for a minute. You know, so, and it's also important that, going back to what Rick was saying, that we allow other people to have those spaces. Because when we are on autopilot, you know, sometimes we can become oblivious to what someone may be going through, because if it's going to take a month later or 2 months or a year later for something to show up, and then out of the blue, the person in front of us is paralyzed with fear or anxiety or worry, and we don't know why, we need to allow them that space and that time, because we don't know what that's a reaction from or what that trigger came from.
I think too, we need to, especially with this being mental awareness month, health days, and stop being so consumed with, it's not going to go on if I'm not here. It will, because when you have the mental break and you're not there, you find out it keeps on going. But that's another thing that we have where businesses don't want to give those days, and we don't want to take those days.
I would send my people home.
Well, they are blessed to have
I
you.
used to send them home. Go home.
They are blessed to have
Because
you.
what you're not gonna do is stress me out. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know, because I can see you're not functioning at your best.
But you acknowledge it.
Something is wrong, and I'm asking you what's wrong. You can't articulate what's wrong. So you know what? It's okay if you go home. And I didn't mean that in a punishment way. Go lay down. Go eat something good. Go walk in the park. Whatever you need to do. Go take care of yourself. Because, like I said, this is going to be here. And
You are an amazing boss for doing that. But to the other people who don't have you as their boss, I just want to go on record saying, take your mental day when you need it, and you know when you need it. You know you're at capacity. You know you're just at your job going through the motions. And I was in accounting, and when I realized, I don't know what I just put in. I don't know if I put a hey, y'all wanted to give me, and I took 6 months off. Cause I mean, you know, that's where it was. I had completely, my body shut down. Crystal was still going, but Crystal messing with these people money. That's not a good thing. So take the time. We have to make space. That was my point.
So what are some of the ways that we make space? Or some of the ways that people can make space?
Put your phone on Do Not Disturb. Take your mental health days. Go to the spa. Take a spa day.
I love all things spa.
Take a personal day.
And what does a personal day look for you?
For me, it's a hideaway.
Yes.
I won't tell but one person where I am. I don't answer the phone. And I do not look out the window to see where the children at. No, not at all. That's what I do for me. It helps because going back to what you were saying a few minutes ago, the things that make me sit down and shut down, cut off everything, is I get spots on me. They look like purple spots all over. Sometimes I don't even know they're on my legs or whatever, but it's always one, which is here now, that is stress. That lets me know I have gone too far and I have to stop. And it takes about 2 or 3 days, but I have to stop and see about me. So that's how my body shuts me down. It gives me sign. And I be scared to go out. I don't want to go anywhere because I look like somebody has beaten me. But it's just stress marks.
What does space look like for you, Iris?
Oh, I'm intentional about my days off. I have planned days off through the rest of the year. I've gone there every month and put in my PTO time. But I didn't used to always be that way. Everywhere I traveled on vacation, I'm dragging my laptop. But I had to unplug and separate because St. Mary's going to keep going. But I want to live and not just exist. So I had to, they're already set. PTO and prepare the others because I won't be there. You have to do that. Like, you have to be intentional about your time. Work is gonna work. It's gonna
work.
What about everybody else? How do y'all create space?
Well, for me, I like to drive. I've always been interested in driving since I was a little girl. I wanted to learn how to drive everything. I'm still that way. Driving for me is therapeutic. I can think, you know. It's quiet, so I can hear myself breathe. You know, I can focus more on my breathing, and so for me, driving does it. Just being alone with the Lord, and in that quietness, and then in nature, you know, just and the sunrise, or, you know, just the beautiful skies at 7, 8 o'clock at night, you know, those kind of things, just, it does something for me.
Yeah, for me, I enjoy outside, but I'm at a place in my life right now where I have been terrible with carving out space for myself.
You got a lot going on.
Yes, a lot going on. We have older children, we have younger ones, but older ones too. They're in the place of transition. And then my sister and myself and brother, like our whole family, we're caring or coordinating the care for my mom and things like that. So it is so necessary and so difficult. But when I can, oftentimes people they think that I'm an extrovert. I think I said this when I was here last, but I've never been an extrovert actually.
I'm not either.
And so when I'm by myself, it's just so peaceful most times. I can just entertain myself with not watching TV. I can watch plenty of videos. I can just relax. I can just lay and think, walk to the mailbox. I don't necessarily have to have a whole lot of stuff, going on. I'm so low maintenance. But I like being outdoors. I really love the beach. But I don't go often.
We don't have one.
No, and then when you go, you got to travel, which means more, more stuff you got to figure out how to take care of. But yeah, I like this, just simple things. I like to sit and not move and listen. I like music. I like nature, those types of things.
So we have 5 minutes left. So for those who are watching and those who are listening, if you could tell them one thing about grief or loss in one word, and you can't repeat anyone else's word, what would it be?
Exhale.
Self.
Time.
Patience.
Vulnerable.
Yes. And for me, it would be acceptance.
I need to add one. I know you said one word.
She got a plus one.
Well, you see who she
Can I replace? Grace.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a lot of wisdom in this room from all the loss and the hurt. A lot of wisdom. So I know that those watching and those listening were blessed, and I really hope and pray they feel more that they feel they're allowed to feel what they need to feel, and that's okay, right? That's okay. That is my hope from this when we talk about that. And so I want to thank y'all for being with us tonight. I want to thank the Master Barber, Enrique King, for having us tonight, and also saying congratulations again to Talking Random-ish.
Yes.
For 9 years. 9 years. That is amazing. That really is. That is amazing. That's a testament of what a dream come true looks like.
I've been waiting on my t-shirt.
Yes.
I don't know why we don't get t-shirts when we come on the show.
I drove 2 hours.
I'm the sibling.
You should have all the colors. And the hats, and the cups, and the socks.
As of now, I am the head of the family.
Oh.
So
Wow.
She needs
I
one
got a
bigger
hat.
than that.
You
have a hat?
a t-shirt jug.
Yeah.
A barrel.
Yeah.
Closing thoughts for us, Brother Rick?
First of all, I want to say thank you. This has been exceedingly and abundantly way past my expectations. Once again, my sister, thank you.
I love you, big head.
Because I know how hard this is, and it was, and it's going to continue to be.
But you did.
And I thank you. I also have to thank our mayoral candidate who took time out of her busy schedule to be the therapist. And I so thank you for being here tonight, not as a mayoral candidate, but as a friend, as a cousin, as a therapist.
Thank you.
And thank you, Crystal. Thank you
Thank you.
for sharing and growth. Because we have came a long way from being on Smyrna football field with TJ looking up, talking about what
Cumulus cloud.
cumulus clouds, and I need him to stretch to get ready to play some football. And he,
That's my son.
yeah, and he looking up at the clouds and telling me this is a cumulus cloud. That's all. Hey, look up. And he will be 34.
Wow. Rick, you're old.
I'm around old people. I know old people. I've been in spaces with old people. Yeah. Sister Realm Eyes.
Brother Rick, thank you for creating space.
Thank you for opening and being vulnerable in this space. Because I guarantee you what you talked about tonight, I have heard of only one other person. One. That's a girl on my Facebook that I think I went to school with her. Thank you for sharing. Thank y'all. We have to continue these. We have to. And if it's any way possible for Talking Random-ish to be able to help anybody, if nothing but give y'all a voice, please, 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 please hit us up. We easily found. My Shay, my pastor, probably been praying for me since she was 2 years old.
It's a hard job.
Love you, girl.
I love you.
I'm so proud of the woman that you are and the woman that you are going to continue to be. And I hope that we be just as good as the women has been tonight with opening up and being vulnerable and being safe. But I thank y'all. Thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all. We're gonna get ready to wrap this thing up. If anybody got some poetry they wanna do after I do this, feel free. I'm gonna open up the floor. If y'all got a word that y'all wanna give us, y'all just jump on in. After I do what I say, then y'all say what y'all say, and then we're gonna get on about it. But definitely good luck to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
19th is coming.
That's right.
So,
I pray God will give you the grace to finish this race.
Yes. Thank you. Thank
amen.
you.
And regardless of the outcome, to continue to give you the fight,
That's right.
to continue to want to make this community better. This game called life is a series of moments. The past is just that, the past. Learn from it and be thankful for it. The future, prepare for it, is coming. Let's get to the next one. The present is a gift. Enjoy the journey. Take plenty of pictures, but most importantly, thank God. It's time to clean the clippers.
I want to close us with this poem by Robert Frost, and it's Nothing Gold Can Stay. Nature's first green is gold. Her heart is hued to hold. Her early leaf's a flower, but only so an hour. Then leaf subsides to leaf, so Eden sank to grief. So dawn goes down today. Nothing gold can stay.
Now that says so much on so many things.
I know.
The gold cannot stay.
I had to look that one up. Please send me that. Please send me that.
Please go, Lord.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
The doors are, whenever these doors are open, you are definitely welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's time to clean the clippers. Sweep the floors. We ain't gonna clean the bathroom. We gonna wait till all the men's gets here.
Y'all can take care of that.
And then we let the men's take care of the bathroom next week. In the words of Rita Lawson's son, Odabo Jack, the shop is closed.
We're talking randomly. Talking random. We're talking randomly. Talking